Hey guys, this is my brand new YouTube channel of retro gaming. I'm Gamer Ahmer, and today we're going to do a video game room tour. Alright, so I've been collecting since 2014. I've always played video games growing up, I just never kept them. So now I'm trying to buy everything over again and relive my childhood. Alright, so here's my first shelf, and it has my Japanese N64 variants. We have the watermelon and the ice blue with Japanese Mario Kart 64 game. That one comes with a controller bundle. And then here we have some of my complete N64 box games. Spider-Man, Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, and these two are pretty sweet because these were for Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia only, and I have them complete in box. That's Wave Race 64 and Super Mario 64. Alright, and then on this shelf we have the PlayStation 2 Resident Evil 4 limited edition controller. This one has not been opened, but it is a limited release, and this is out of 50,000 controllers. And then we have a Gameboy Color, and this is also pretty neat. So this is the NR reader for the Nintendo Gamecube. This is for USA and Japan. And then we have my collection of Sega Saturn games. So we have 3 Dirty Dwarfs, Virtua Cop, and just a bunch of other shooting games, fighting games for the system. Alright, and then on this shelf we have the Korean N64. It's the Hyundai Convoy, and I even have 2 of the special controllers that came with it. And then I have this Japanese airline release. You could only win these on the airline. It's the ANA edition. And then we have some N64 64DD games. Mario Artist. And then down here we have a special edition fight stick. It's the Femme Fatale version, and I believe it's out of 650, and here it is opened up. Alright, and on this shelf we have Rob the Robot, and this is actually functional. And then we have the Famicom version as well, and I also have a Famicom right here. And I have Mario Teaches Typing, and this cool little vintage Mario figure. And then scattered through these shelves you'll see a few open Amiibos. I do have a section where they're all sealed, but I do have 1 or 2 that are loose. And then this shelf we have the Australian release of Pokemon Stadium N64. This one was only released in Australia, so I had to order this from there. And it even has slightly different controllers than what was released here. And then I have these Pokemon figures. And then on this shelf I have the Justco Japanese N64 variant and the Diehawks Japanese N64 variant with Zelda for 3DS. And then on this shelf we have some older ColecoVision and television games Pitfall, and we have some ColecoVision, Atom, and other ColecoVision games. And on this shelf we have my complete in box Panasonic 3DO games. Some highlights are Corpse Killer and Mercenary, Crime Patrol, The Bounty Hunter, Road Rash. And then I have this cool N64 Ultra Racer 64 controller. It's pretty neat for racing games. And then I have these Pokemon variations of Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance. And this one even says Pokemon Center, and it was from Japan. And then on this shelf we have two Japanese variants of the N64. These are both the Pokemon Pikachu editions, and you can tell that Japan had the orange release. And then we have this American Pokemon N64. And back behind here we have the Wiiu Pikachu, and we have this Japanese Pokemon Stadium. And these two were actually given away as a bundle deal with this Japanese ANA Airlines N64. And then down here we have some Street Fighter. This actually came with the collector's edition for the PS4. And I have this fight stick, and this is the Marvel vs. Capcom limited edition, and this was for PlayStation 3. So on here it has both Marvel and Capcom characters. And then on this shelf we have the Spice Orange Gamecube that was released in Japan. And then we have this Spice Orange Game Boy Advance. And then here, as you saw earlier, the PlayStation 2 version, this is the GameCube version. And this one I can open up. And we have this cool chainsaw Resident Evil 4 controller. And this one is limited as well. So this is also out of 50,000. And then along with that, we have Resident Evil on this shelf from my Sega Saturn and Sega CD games. Batman and Robin, Power Rangers. And then some more. We have Enemy Zero, Virtua Cop, Virtua Cop 2, Corpse Killer, Skeleton Warriors, Bust a Move. And then we have Final Fight CD. And then on this shelf we have a plain standard charcoal N64. And this one is a cool custom. It actually has Legend of Zelda design on it. This is a cool custom that I had made. And then these two controllers, we have the Jeffrey and Hello Mac. These were only released in Japan. And then I have some more Mario Artist games for the 64 DD. And then I also have SimCity for the 64 DD. And then on this shelf we have another fight stick. This one is for the PlayStation 3, and it's Street Fighter vs. Tekken. And when you open it up, it has a different style to it than the others, but it's pretty neat. And here we have some Batman figures. I collect the DC Comic Designer Series, so I do have all of those, and I also have the Batman Arkham Knight figures as well. So these are all pictured. We have the Joker, the Riddler, Mr. Freeze, Batman, and this one's even the exclusive from GameStop. So this is the Battle Damaged. And then up here we have the Street Fighter 15th edition. I have these Capcom Controllers. These are the Fight Pad controllers. And I have these ones right here. And then I even have Street Fighter 4. This is actually signed by the voice actor. And then back here I have a Mortal Kombat controller. And then over here we have various variants of the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Advance, and some more Game Boy Colors. So this is the ANA, it's the Japanese airline. This is an Australian, it says Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. This has a Mario faceplate. Then we have some Hello Kitty variant right here. This is from Japan, and so is this one. One is the Game Boy Advance, and one is the Game Boy Pocket. And then back here we have the Japanese Game Boy Pocket Tamagotchi. Alright, and then over here we have a Mighty Number 9 figure, and this came a part of the collector's edition, and it's actually a signature edition, and it's out of 10,000. And then we have this Game Boy Pocket, the Extreme Green, and we also have this, the King of Fighters EX Neo Blood, this special variant of the Game Boy Advance. And then we have the Final Fantasy X2 Guns, and these two are actually controllers where you can play the game on PS2. So you control with both of these. One has the joysticks and one has the arrows. So it would be pretty difficult to play the game like this, but it's pretty neat. And then we have some original Xbox games here. Halo, Dance Dance Revolution, Fable, Tomb Raider, 007, Nightfire, Spider-Man, Dead or Alive, and a few others. And then in each of these Nintendo 64 drawers that I have these and another stack. They have all of my loose N64 games in them. I actually have a complete set of N64 games, and that's the North American set. So they are actually in all of these. And I do have a few PAL exclusives as well. So we have Michael Owens, and these are the games that were released in the PAL regions. So Premier Manager 64, F1 World Grand Prix 2, F1 Racing Championship, and Taz Express. Those are the PAL exclusives that I have to complete the set. And as you can tell, each of these has more and more N64 games in them. And then up here we have the Magnavox Odyssey 2 system, and it's actually next to the Magnavox Odyssey, the original system that came out in 1972. And up there we have the Telstar Colortron, an ATARI Kids controller, And we have this Super Nintendo Super Scope, complete in the box, an NES Classic Edition next to a Super Nintendo Classic Edition. And then we have the Super Nintendo Killer Instinct set. So this one actually came with the game and the Killer Cuts music CD that was the soundtrack. And then we have the Nintendo double player wireless head-to-head system, those controllers. We have Mario Paint in the big Super Nintendo box, the Super Nintendo controller, ATARI video computer system, and this one is the factory reconditioned version. So it was actually sent back to the factory, and I have that one. And we have a Nintendo video game organizer complete in the box, and that one's in pretty good shape. I don't think it was ever used. And we have the Sears Telegames Video Arcade and Video Arcade 2 Star Raiders. And it even comes with the Atari First Edition action-packed comic book. Then we have an NES Zapper, a Telestar Alpha, and the House of the Dead 2 for Dreamcast, Nintendo 64, the Pokemon Battle Stadium Battle Set, Catherine for PlayStation 3, the Atari 2600, the Nintendo Game Boy in the original box, and then I have Nintendo Game Boy Colors. Those are both from Japan. I have this Sega CD gun box. And here we have the Elder Scrolls Online Collector's Edition, and it's signed by all the developers of the game. I actually won this from a local radio station, 98 Rock, and what we had to do to win it, I actually sent in pictures of my game room, and they chose me. So I'm proud to have this in my collection. And then above that we have the Super Pong, and that's complete in the box, the Atari. And then I have some Donkey Kong Jungle Beat bongo controllers for the Gamecube, and Lethal Enforcers complete with the Justifier gun, and that's for Sega CD. And this is a complete in box Halo Special Edition green console, and this was actually never played. Alright, so here we have the Wiiu Kiosk. It came with everything except for the actual Wii U display unit. This I got from a local GameStop, and I actually have my Wii U hooked up to it currently. And over here we have some more store displays. This is a Nintendo DS Electric Blue. And then we have this Metal Gear Rising. This was part of the collector's edition. It actually lights up as well. And then over here we have my wall of Amiibos. So the Amiibos actually go behind the kiosk, and they're complete from the floor to the ceiling. I actually have every released Amiibo, and they're all complete in box. Alright, and over here we have more of these N64 drawers. These have the rest of the complete collection in them. So some of the highlights are in this drawer. And I have Clay Fighter Sculptor's Cut. And this one has the back label that's actually the Blockbuster video that I grew up going to. So I thought that was pretty neat to have that one in my collection. And then we have Stunt Racer 64, which is a hard to find game. Conker's Bad Fur Day. And then I have some Zelda games. And I actually have all the different variants. So this one is the non-holographic. And I have the gold Legend of Zelda cart. And I also have the gray variant as well. And then we have a bunch of Mario games, so Mario Kart 64, Super Mario 64, Super Smash Brothers, and then all the Mario parties. And then, as you can tell, these are all complete and full of Nintendo 64 games. And I even have the gray and black kart variants as well. And then this is a store display of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Wii U. It's pretty neat. And then I have some more Amiibos. So these are the box games of Amiibo Festival, Animal Crossing, and Yoshi's Woolly World. And then over here I have Chibi Robo Ziplash, and I have the game that goes with it, and that has the Amiibo as well. And then Yoshi's Woolly World, I have this Amiibo Poochie, and it is complete as well. Over here I have the Amiibo Kiosk. I actually got this from a local GameStop as well, along with this Wiiu Kiosk. And just go ahead and tap the screen and it comes on, and it has everything. It's still hooked up to the internet, so you just pick whichever and it'll show you what an Amiibo is and what Amiibos go to which system. Alright, and here we have some Game Boy games with these cool stands for them, and these are actually from Rose Colored Gaming. So I have them for the original, all these Pokemon games. So I have Red, Blue, Yellow, Fire Red, Ruby Red, Sapphire, Emerald, Leaf Green, Gold, Silver, and Crystal. And then we have the NES Power Glove. And I have a original Game Boy here. And then on this side I have the original Game Boy, but this is the Comboy. It's the Korean version. And then in these drawers here I have my NES collection. In both of them I have all my NES games. And then I have a few over here. I have Toxic Crusaders and Contra Force, Shatterhand, and Mike Tyson's Punch Out. And then as we move on up, we have this Doom Collector's Edition statue here, and it also lights up red. And then we have Assassin's Creed on both sides. I have two Collector's Edition statues. And then we have these Funko Pops. These are actually the only ones that I have currently. I try to avoid collecting a full set of Funko Pops because space is very limited here. And then I have this NES Sharp TV. So these are pretty neat. It actually has a built-in Nintendo system in the television. So you plug in the controllers here and you can play any game that you put in. So this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So this piece is actually pretty hard to find. I was able to find this one local, so I'm super excited about it. Alright, and then over here we have this Mass Effect collectible, and I also have this Mass Effect Nomad, and this is the remote control version that you can actually control it and operate this. And then here we have the Chrome series of the N64. These were actually done by this company called Fox Data in the UK. I was able to get one of these very limited edition pieces for $1,800. So I'm pretty excited to have these in my collection. They are definitely one of my favorite pieces. And they also created another series. And then I also have these two controllers as a part of the Fox Data series as well. So this one is a leopard, and this was actually hydro dipped, and this one was too. It's the Desert Storm. So one day I will have the complete set. I'm only missing two for a full Fox Data set. Alright, so up here we have my PlayStation 2 neon light, and I was able to grab that with the original box as well. And up here we have some collector's edition statues. So I have Batman, and then we have these GunCon boxes. So that's for PlayStation 1, that's Time Crisis, Crisis Zone. And we have Ninja Assault and Point Blank 2, and those all come with the gun in the box. And then I have these GamePro figures. I have the Virtua Fighter 4 Sega figures. So this one is a prototype, so there was only one of 500 produced because it's not painted like these other two. And then we have this Gundam Playstation 2. This was only released in Japan with the Uncharted 3 Collector's Edition statue and some more Virtua Fighter 4 figures. And then here we have Overwatch. This is the Collector's Edition statue. And then we have this Nathan Drake statue for Uncharted 4. And then I have these Lara Croft Tomb Raider figures. I actually have 3 of them here. And then over here we have my American set of N64 consoles. So I have the gold edition, and then I have watermelon, fire orange, jungle green, ice blue, grape, and smoke. So all of those complete make the Fantastic series. And then over here is just my collection of PlayStation 2 games. So they actually go all the way down. And then back in this corner we have my Xbox original games. I have some more of those. And then my Xbox 360 games, Gamecube, and Wii. So that's that collection. And then back in this corner I have this pretty sweet replica Gears of War Lancer. So this is pretty sweet, and it's very large. Okay, and then this corner is a bunch of collectible statues, figures, collector's editions. We have Mortal Kombat, Scorpion, we have various Batman, the Joker, and we have this Gears of War statue with the Gears of War Xbox 360 variant in front of it, and more Injustice statues, Tekken. And then these shelves, I have a lot of consoles that are stacked. So we have the blue, silver, and black Gamecube. I have a red Wii, Sega Master System. I have this custom Wu-Tang PS1 console that goes along with the matching Wu-Tang controller that I also have. Then we have this Atari Jaguar, the Atari Lynx, Panasonic 3DO, Neo Geo Fight Stick, and various colors of the PlayStation 2 Slim versions. I have a Telstar Marksman, Turbo Express handheld. I have a Gold Star Panasonic 3DO, and this video art console, and a Dr. V64 attachment for the 64. I have a Sega Game Gear. This has the Sega Genesis, the Sega CD, Sega 32X, Sega Nomad, ColecoVision with the ATARI 2600 module, and the racing wheel that goes with the ColecoVision. Alright, and here is my gaming station that I currently play. So we have on here my Wii, Super Famicom. This is my Super Nintendo. Here's my current gen stuff, my Xbox One. Here's an older Neo Geo. Here is a PS1, Sega Dreamcast, another PlayStation 1. It's the larger version. And here's an Xbox 360, my Nintendo Switch, PS2 up here. Down here we have a PS3, a PS4, Xbox, the Crystal version. Then we have the Xbox, the Mountain Dew version. Here we have a Panasonic 3DO, TurboGrafx, Sega Saturn, and a standard black Xbox. And over here we have some of my Xbox One games. So as you can see, I've been playing Prison Architect recently, Call of Duty, World War II, Gears of War. Then we have my PlayStation 4 games, PlayStation 3 games, and down there that's hard to see, I have some PlayStation 1 games. Here we have some various TurboGrafx games, Panasonic 3DO games, Dreamcast games, and some Japanese Sega Saturn games. And then here's some Sega Dreamcast games along with some Super Nintendo games, and I have some more Super Nintendo games. They're just stored away currently. And then up here we have this Amiibo stand. These are some more loose Amiibos that I have. Most of them are boxed. I have this Super Mario Brothers 2 Gold Edition Nintendo 3DS XL. This has actually never been opened. And then up here we have some more statues. So we have Link and some Zelda characters. And we have Star Fox. And this is for Far Cry 4. And this is for BioShock. This is a Songbird. Here we have my Batman segmented poster. It's on canvas. I actually put this together and kind of overlapped them onto a border that I made separately and kind of stapled it together. And then over here we have this Nintendo Vans display from the Vans store. This is when they released their line of tennis shoes. So I was able to get that from the actual store itself. And here we have my Nintendo Gamecube kiosk. I was actually very lucky and I found two of these exact same kiosks at a dental office nearby. So I was able to take both of them home, and I have this one displayed in my game room. And I have this Pokemon the movie 2000. This was actually from Burger King. And over here we have this Pokemon banner. So these are from the movie and when they issued those toys at Burger King. And then I have a few more Standees scattered around. So I have this Pokemon Sun and Moon full standee. And then over here we have this awesome Nintendo DS Kiosk, and it is two-sided. So it's the battle station and it's the floor display, not the countertop display. I literally picked this up yesterday, so this is brand new, never before seen anywhere else. I just added it to my collection and I'm really excited about it. And then over here we have this Injustice 2 display. I really like Batman, so I thought that I would just add it to my collection. And then over in this corner we have an Apple II computer, and I have plenty of games for it, Oregon Trail, Wolfenstein. And in this corner we have the Coleco Atom, so that also works as well, and I have some pretty neat games for that. It's one of those older systems. And then here I have this Sega Saturn banner, so that's pretty neat. And in this corner we have this Samsung GX TV. It actually plays video games very well. The sound works amazing, and I can jam out and play some Nintendo on this. In this corner we have the Virtual Boy system with the NES top loader, and it's in these vintage Nintendo stands, and inside here I have a Super Nintendo Mini. I have this Vectrix and television, some Atari games. Here's some older consoles over here. We have the Atari 2600, some more games in here. The Fairchild Channel F. We have some Atari video pinball systems. I have the two different color variants, and the Telstar. And then up here we have this Magnavox display. This is original from back in the day when they sold Magnavox appliances, and it also has the same logo and style as the Magnavox Odyssey 2. So I thought that was pretty neat. And it just is able to light up with that original tubing in it as well. Here we have some more store displays. We have Star Wars, Lego, PlayStation sign, and over here we have this Game Boy Advance SP kiosk. This one is a countertop. And then right here we have this Sega store display. So this particular model was actually used in Walmart. So what would happen is the newest releases would be in these panels right here, and you would go in the store and just look and see which game you wanted, and then they would open up the back stock and you would grab them. So in here I have my Sega Genesis games and some more Sega Genesis games. Behind this row I have my Sega Master System games, and then of course I have a few Neo Geo games. So I have Real Bout and some others, some Vectrix games as well for the Vectrix system. And up here we have Call of Duty Countdown with the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 care package, and we have some Fallout. So thank you guys for watching. This is my 2018 video game room tour. So what you saw, there is plenty more to come. So going forward, there's going to be plenty more videos to see. We're going to go over some retro gaming pickups. I'll take you along with me as we go see some video game hunting, video game shopping, picking up kiosks and other rare systems. And we can go ahead and talk about a little bit more in depth of what you have seen in this video. Just reach out and subscribe to me, and just leave a comment of what you'd like to see more in the future. We'll talk about pickups, video games, retro gaming, what's current, and just talk about anything that's related to gaming.